Hi, and welcome to my curriculum night presentation. My name is Allie Idek Lilly, and I teach advanced reading and writing here at Gross Middle School. Um, if I get to that slide, here we go. Here is my contact information. All of this can be found on the district website. I'm really excited to teach this year in this new crazy model that we have. This is my 17th year here at Gross, so I've been here a while. I may have taught older siblings or cousins. So yeah, you might know me already. So let's get started with the curriculum. Homework, I always get asked this question from students. So I figured I'd touch base with you guys about homework in my class. So majority of your child's homework in reading is reading. They're going to be reading, assigned reading. It should take anywhere between 20 and 30 minutes a night. So you should see your child reading a novel. Otherwise, the only other real homework that might go along with the reading is like a question or two or three, possibly not many, that students need to answer before they come to class, so that we can discuss the reading in a more organized fashion. And also, any classwork that we do in class, I give students ample time to work on classwork. But if for some reason, we're moving a little bit slower that day, they might have a few things to finish up on that at home. But usually just reading is going to be their homework. As far as writing, because we use a writing workshop model, there really isn't a lot of writing homework, if any. You might see some writing homework in the beginning of the unit, just because especially with realistic fiction, some students they really get into their story writing, and so they might end up doing some writing at home because they've decided to write a lot. And so you might see them doing that. But if they're doing that, it's probably because they're really enjoying writing their story. But really, you're not going to see any writing homework. As far as assessments are concerned, reading is pretty project-based. I usually try to do projects as final assessments as opposed to a standard test, but there will be a couple tests here and there throughout the year with the reading units, and then always, quizzes throughout the unit as well. As far as writing, our final assessment is always going to be our writing piece. We spend a lot of time revising our writing, so that final assessment, we get a lot of mastery in there. Homework page is through the district website. Check that often. That is updated daily with the homework and schoolwork for that day. Gives a short little agenda. So if you've never been there, take a look at it, check it to make sure that there isn't any major projects coming up or anything like that you need to be on the lookout for. I always get asked this question, extra credit. Extra credit isn't given just because of our grading model. Because we are standards based, extra credit really doesn't do anything. But we do allow for redos and retakes. So, if we have a bad day and really screw up on something, it's okay. We can redo it. We can move forward. So as far as retaking, I do have my students, it's in the form of a Google form now, but a reflection form, basically just saying like, this is what I want to retake. This is what I'm going to do to, get to the mastery point. So I always like to have them kind of reflect before they actually, go ahead and do a redo or a retake. So our year-long reading theme is Heroes Among Us. So all of our reading ties into this year-long theme. So any novels, short stories, etc., are going to fall under this theme. So let's get started with the curriculum. A few changes on here, but normally we start off with the Holocaust unit. We're going to push that back to the end of the year. Just considering everything that's going on, we figured that unit would be much better served at the end of the year. But there will be a lot of student choice. There's some new ones up there this year. Irena's Children, Farewell to Manzanar, which was a favorite of mine when I was in middle school. These all fit within that Holocaust unit that we'll be doing at the end of the year. We are starting off, if you scroll down to the Pride and Prejudice unit, we are starting off with Chains. Again, normally we do a literature circle kind of thing because that's going to be a little bit difficult. We're going to do that at the end of the year with the Holocaust unit. So we're all going to work through Chains together, which is a part of a trilogy, Forge being the second book, Ashes being the third book. So that will be starting off. It takes place in the Revolutionary War, so it ties into social studies. Social studies is now actually discussing the Revolutionary War, so it really ties in nicely to what they're talking about. The next unit we're going to do is very fitting for October. The second half of October is going to be Gothic literature. So it's real spooky and eerie. We'll read some Edgar Allan Poe stories and poems. We'll read an excerpt from Frankenstein and a couple other well-known Gothic literature stories. And then November, we'll start reading The Christmas Carol, which will probably take us into December. You may not think Gothic literature when you think Christmas Carol, but if you remember the story, there are some really spooky, eerie kind of parts to it with the ghosts. So it does fit it really well. So we'll be reading that. It's short. It's well less than 100 pages. So it'll be a quick read. The next unit we will do is The Pearl by John Steinbeck. It's a parable, so we'll do a parable unit. We'll read some other parables that go along with that. That is also a short one. It's a novella. It's only 90 pages. That will also tie into our writing curriculum when we do literary analysis. The next unit we're going to be doing is Shakespeare. We would have done the Comedy of Errors, but we're not going to this year. Unfortunately, we can't go see the play, but I did reach out. I did talk to the Shakespeare Theater, so they're going to be working on creating something virtually for us. So I'll know more information as the year goes on, but with regards to that, I will hopefully get that in time before we start the unit, and then we'll be able to read whatever short story that is. We'll also read Romeo and Juliet and then a Shakespeare play of their choice. They'll get to choose, and then they'll create a movie trailer of that Shakespeare play that they read. All of these are abridged. So we will read excerpts of the real one, but we're not going to be reading, the unabridged version of this. They will do that in high school and 8th grade. The last unit that we're going to be doing is the mystery unit, Hound of the Baskervilles, which is also an example of Gothic literature, but we'll focus on the mystery aspect, the detective aspect of it. It's actually one of 4 novels that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle wrote with Sherlock Holmes. All of the rest of the Sherlock Holmes stories were short stories published in the Strand magazine, so they're all much shorter. So we'll get an opportunity to read some of those short stories as well. All of the units will contain, again, some short stories, nonfiction, drama, poetry that pertains to the year-long theme and themes of the unit itself. As far as advanced writing, basic 3, we will do narrative, which in this case we are straying away from personal narratives. We're going to be doing realistic fiction. The kids really love this. We actually started this now, so I think they're going to get real excited when they actually get to start writing a story and be authors. The next unit we'll do is literary analysis. That's where The Pearl and other short stories will come into play. Really important type of writing. I always let the kids know that this is something that they'll do in high school and college and beyond, reading a piece of literature and then analyzing some aspects of it. So we'll work on how to do that. The last unit we will do is argument writing. We'll do some research, conduct research, and write an argument. This year, students have digital writing notebooks, so those are available in their Google Classroom, as well as digital writing folders. We will have peer and teacher conferences. They'll look a little bit different. These will be probably pre-recorded using Flipgrid, but we'll still be able to converse about our writing. And as always with Google, we can leave comments and feedback so that students can work through their writing together. And that is it. I'm actually going to fast forward to the pause here. If you ever need anything from me, you can reach out at any time via email, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Phone, it's not in the room with me, so I have to listen to the recording. So honestly, the best way to get a hold of me is going to be my email. You can also view my webpage through the district website as well, and then access also the homework page through that as well. So it's lovely to meet you all virtually, and we're going to have a great year, and I'm super excited about it. Have a great night, guys. Thank you.